Well, Happy New Year, Ash!
Oh, it's a bold new year for us, for the show, for gaming. Everything's going to be different from now on. We're going to be exploring previously unexplored depths beyond anything we've ever talked about before, Connor. Why don't you let our listeners know what's happening?
Well, I should hope they've read the title.
I like to... Alright, listen, shut up. I like to believe in a little pocket universe where everyone is just getting these videos sent to them with no title and no intro, so they have no idea what we're going to talk about. Like, they're tuning into us on the radio while they're driving to work.
Yeah, or it's like it's being mailed to them in unmarked cassette tapes or something.
It's like sharing Doom in the 90s, you know? You get like a little zip disc with this episode on. And it's like, oh, they're talking about another platformer? Oh
my word. Well, to be fair, if this has ended up on someone's like shuffle or something, like if I get
maybe.
Then maybe they're not looking at their screen. Maybe they don't know.
And we're making this show for that person.
Yeah.
Not for the other 99% of people who know that we're talking about Spyro the Dragon.
Yes, welcome. This is the Spyro episode 23. The list goes on.
In much the same way that it was inevitable that we would talk about a Silent Hill game, there was no way to avoid the singularity that is Spyro the Dragon.
Absolutely not.
No.
So, Spyro the Dragon is a 3D platformer release on the PlayStation 1. It is a game where you play as a little purple dragon called Spyro. Mm-hmm. Wait, that's in the name. I'm being redundant, Ash.
Yeah.
Help. Nah. No,
I have nothing to offer you.
No, you can't help me at all.
I'm dying, as you can hear.
No.
Yeah.
Please subscribe to the Patreon so we can give Ash her medicine.
Pay for my medical costs.
Yeah, so that way.
Don't you guys live in the UK? Don't worry about it.
The core of the game is basically a loop of traversing many wondrous environments in a colourful, fictional, polygonal world on the PlayStation 1, where you collect gems, you rescue crystallized dragons, and you take down assorted enemies, oftentimes these little green guys called Gnorcs, as well as sometimes wizards, sometimes animals, sometimes beasts.
Well, you know what, Connor? That sounds absolutely delightful. Mm-hmm. And I was going to ask you about your personal history with one Spyro the Dragon.
Certainly. So Spyro the Dragon is a game I grew up with. Well, actually, that's technically not true. Spyro 3 and Spyro 2 are games that I grew up with. They were games that were pretty important to how I eventually would like get into games. It would develop my taste in them, sort of affect the way that I approach and sort of expect games to be.
Yeah.
But I never actually played the original.
A world shaped by Spyro. A mind forged in the fires of Spyro 2.
So, in contrast to yourself, where your first video game, also on the PlayStation 1, was Resident Evil.
Yeah. And we can see the results for themselves.
Yeah. Mine was the sort of sister franchise to Spyro, which is Crash Bandicoot. Mostly just considered sibling franchises just because they both are 3D platformers on the PlayStation that are like kind of second party with Sony.
I always find them fascinating as being contrasts of one another. I actually think it's more interesting to think about what separates them than what unifies them.
Yeah.
Because Crash Bandicoot is very much a game that came out before Mario 64 came out.
Yeah.
And Spyro is very much a game that came out after Mario 64 came out.
Oh god, yeah. That's a perfect way of putting it, actually. Because that's interesting, because Crash kind of like paves its own way into how it wants to approach 3D platforming, which is effectively to make a 2D platforming game.
But you go up.
But you go up rather than left and right.
Yeah. Although sometimes you still go left and right.
yeah. They just are like, it's a safe bet, you know? You might as well do it.
Everyone yearns to go left or right sometimes.
But unlike Crash, where I started with the first Crash game and played the other ones afterwards, I kind of went backwards, playing Spyro 3 for the first time, then Spyro 2, and then, with a gap of multiple years, finally trying Spyro 1 when I was about 15 years old.
You know, I find that kind of fascinating because, obviously, we were born in the mid-90s, so I was born in 96, you were born in 97.
Yep.
So Crash Bandicoot would already have been out by the time you were born.
Yeah.
And Spyro 1 would have come out when you were a very, very small baby.
Yeah, when I was crawling.
So it's interesting to me that you had a game that's older than Spyro 1 and not Spyro 1. Like, you had Crash 1, but not Spyro 1.
Yeah, no, I didn't have Spyro 1 at all.
Yeah.
I never actually knew why, because most of my games were hand-me-downs from my siblings.
Yeah.
So maybe they just weren't enticed by the idea of going back to Spyro 1. Maybe they wanted to play Gran Turismo too much.
They were like, dude, no Ripto? Get the fuck out of here. This is bullshit.
Well, he's apparently everyone's fucking favourite according to mid-2000s Spyro franchises.
Well, we can weigh in on that when we cover Spyro 2 in 7 years.
Yeah, Happy New Year from whenever this comes out in April or whatever. But yeah, no, while Spyro was a game I played at, 7, this was a game I played at 15 instead.
Yeah,
once I actually...
Very different age.
Very different age. Yeah. When I'd actually come into some money of my own to buy it from eBay.
That's, to me, is, such a great formative memory of being a 15-year-old, you have some disposable income, and you're buying old, unplayed classics through eBay.
Yeah.
Having, a real sense of, agency and discovery. Because I presume... I didn't know you as a child. Dark time for me. But I presume that you weren't like, Mother, I wish to play Crash Bandicoot 1. Acquire it for me.
Yeah.
That was just the game you had, and that's what you played.
Yeah, I mean, there was a few instances of games where, I'd played them at, a friend's house or an after-school club, and then someone got them for me as a present.
Yeah.
But for the most part, no, I would just play whatever sort of, came into my hands after the fact.
Yeah, whereas this Spyro 1 story, to me, is, a really, really archetypical story of self-discovery as a near adult, where you're like, you know what, I'm going to go back to my childhood, use my money to buy this thing that I've always wanted to play but never have played.
Yeah,
there's a weird adolescent joy to that in me.
Yeah, it's a lot like the Halo 2 experience of cracking open what's a fresh experience from a time long ago that I never got to really have.
It's a milestone, I guess, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. It was quite fun. I mean, you can tell it definitely wasn't mine growing up because it's easily the most pristine copy of any of my PS1 games I have.
Whereas your Crash Bandicoot 1 looks like it went for a war.
Yeah. It got transplanted into a CD case. It's not even in a jewel case. You can't even see it on my shelf. It's just an unmarked white fucking...
It's like when you got it out from when we were doing the Crash episode, I was just like, what is this?
I think the only other case I've got that's more beat up than it is Micro Machines V3, which I'm pretty sure I got from someone else's house, so that damage already was done to them.
Yeah. That was inherited. That was generational violence.
Oh my god,
The cycles of violence, I think, is really important about Spyro,
Spyro 1 is a little bit about that. A little bit.
You can really stretch it to be about that if you try.
It is. We'll talk about that with the story. But yeah, as a result, I played this sort of for the first time. Oh my god, I don't want to actually think about how long ago it actually is. I'm not going to think about my age.
It was 14 years ago.
My word. But it was a very strange time, because that was a time where, for anyone familiar with my online career, you probably know, that I've worked as a voice actor and on multiple Warhammer projects with people on the internet. I was getting to know those people at the time I played and bought Spyro 1 for the first time.
If anyone's curious, I was really getting into anime.
You were, yeah. That was your... that was around the time you had played Bioshock Infinite and went, no.
That's it. It's over.
Yeah, I gotta get into Eternal Sonata now.
When I saw someone on Facebook spoil the end of Death Note, I was like, now I gotta watch Death Note, I guess.
Yeah, well, now I know how it ends. I gotta see how it begins.
Yes, that was my Halo reach.
If Death Note started like Halo Reach, I feel like it would take away from the gravitas of it a little bit, don't you think?
Just a touch. Yeah, you knew who lost at the end.
But yeah, as for yourself, I don't know if you want to share your history with Spyro. It could just be with the Spyro series as a whole.
So, I have a similar experience to Spyro that you do, with the exclusion of Spyro 2, because I only had Spyro 3 as a child. Much in the same way that I only ever had Crash 2 and Crash 3.
Yep.
I had no experience or knowledge or understanding of the first two games in the series. I was very much a Spyro 3 kid, though. I love Spyro 3.
Yeah.
It was so charming, it was beautiful. I mean, we'll talk about it at some point, but I do think that going back to Spyro 1 and 2 and not having that nostalgia is kind of an impediment for me.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, what the fuck, no skateboarding? This is stupid.
Well, I think that's what made it interesting to me, because this was when the series immediately started and didn't have a lot of that sort of branch-out extra stuff. And I bet there's people who've had the same experience with Crash, where they're used to Crash Bandicoot being this medley of different play styles like it is in Crash Warped.
Yeah, go back to Crash 1 and they're like, what, no level where it sucks ass and you have to drive a submarine? Fuck.
I mean, that's the magic, you know. You're rolling the dice. Like, do I get a fucking underwater level this time?
The magic of Crash Bandicoot 3 is very similar to the magic of a sketch show, where it's got to be, you know, hit, miss, hit, miss, hit, miss. You can't have too many hits or it gets boring.
No. Whereas this game, you know, clearly it's all hits. Like, there's no problems with it at all.
Yeah. Yeah, man, yeah.
No, I do like Spyro 1. Not to kind of give the game away a little bit too early, but...
I don't think you can dislike Spyro 1.
Yeah.
I just think if you dislike Spyro 1, go outside. It's like this 3-hour game where you just do jumps and get gems, you know? Like, what's the hate about it?
You're just a little guy.
You're just a little guy. Like, it's like... Alright, so it is slightly a backhanded compliment, because it's like saying that you hate a baby.
Yeah.
It's like, that baby doesn't know what it's doing, man.
It's like being mad at a lollipop lady.
Yeah.
And you're just like, what? She just helps kids cross the street.
Yeah,
what the
man.
fuck is your problem? God. Are lollipop ladies even a thing outside the UK? I bet they're not.
I don't know if I have ever even seen a lollipop lady having lived in the UK.
I did in my home village.
Yeah, but you came from, like, the Victorian era. You lived in a little hamlet with no lights.
I used to play Spyro 2 by gas lantern light.
Your dad's spinning a crank in the corner of the room.
We used to get visited by 3 spirits at night.
Yeah, well, every day.
Yeah, the ghost of Spyro's past. The ghost of Spyro's present.
Yeah, it's like modern Spyro, original PS1 Spyro, Elijah Wood Spyro.
Yeah.
And you're like, no, it's terrible.
Yeah, oh my god. The change that Spyro goes through is...
It's a change that we all have to go through.
Yeah.
We all have to grow up and be voiced by Elijah Wood.
Should we talk about a little bit about the development of why Spyro came to be?
Yeah, because I think it's a vaguely fascinating story, both in terms of, like, who is doing the actual developing and then how they went about doing it.
Yeah.
Because Spyro was developed for the original trilogy for the PS1 by Insomniac Games, who are known these days for being the people who make Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And there's seemingly very little else.
Well, I feel like Insomniac's a little interesting to contrast to Naughty Dog, who did Crash around the same time, because Naughty Dog generally did things one bit at a time. They would do their Crash games, then they would do their Jack games, they do Uncharted, they would do Last of Us, go back to Uncharted a little bit.
For a spell,
Yeah, there's only really recently they kind of mixed things up. They normally just did things bit by bit.
Yeah.
But Insomniac, it always felt like they were jumping between all their things pretty frequently. Like, they did loads of Ratchet and Clank games, to the point where it nearly was, for a while, the largest action-adventure franchise in terms of, like, installments, like how many they made. I think it only got beaten by Tomb Raider.
Well, I think the interesting contrast to me between Naughty Dog and Insomniac is that Naughty Dog have been owned by Sony for most of their existence.
Yeah.
So they had this kind of, like, I guess, stability. Not that I'm going to say that being owned by a platform holder is, like, the better way of being, but it did seem like Naughty Dog just kept being able to make the things they wanted, and they came out quite well, as evidenced by the rapturous applause for Naughty Dog's games.
Yeah, well, being known for being owned by a platform holder surely hasn't helped Spyro anytime recently.
Whereas Insomniac had that kind of gooey period, didn't they?
Yeah.
Like in the PS3, PS4 days, where they were making Fuse.
Yeah,
and
I wanted to
Sunset
mention
Overdrive.
Yeah, I wanted to mention Fuse because that just kind of happened, and it was like, was this your attempt to jump into doing like a Last of Us mature game? Because it's not their only one.
Well, that was before Last of Us, wasn't it? That was like 2012.
Was it 2012?
I think so.
Oh my
I'm not
God.
the biggest Fuse expert in the world. I'm much more of a Brinkhead, but
No, that's fair. I fucking Brink.
I love
Incredible.
Brink so much.
I'd put Brink on the list if we could actually play it.
We just play 5 matches of Brink.
I'm not so familiar with that era in games. It kind of becomes a bit of a grey cloud for me. But the 90s I'm a little bit more familiar with, which was a time where, as we know, the PlayStation had been out, the N64 had just come out to finally sort of contest it. And it had come out with this really pioneering sort of jump into 3D platforming with Mario 64.
Yeah.
And as you mentioned about Crash earlier, quite a few of the 3D games on the PlayStation 1 were kind of trying to figure out their own ways of doing it.
Yeah.
And then as soon as Mario 64 came out and nailed it, they all kind of went, shit.
Well, I think the interesting point to try and get across, which I don't think is necessarily a part of the conversation now that we are past the fullness of time, but obviously we all know that the PS1 curbs on the N64 by like a 1-3 margin, basically. It was a right rollicking.
Yeah.
But I think part of the nuance that people forget is that in America, it wasn't quite so clear-cut for quite a while.
Yeah.
Because the N64, like a significant proportion of its install base, to an unusual degree, is from America.
Yes.
And that was more of a race between the two consoles than it was in Europe. Definitely in Europe and in Japan.
So Sony were kind of trying to figure out, like, all right, what are we doing here? Who's gonna contest this? Who's gonna step up to the plate to go up against fucking Mario 64? You gonna do it, Crash? I mean, you're pretty good. You're a good mascot for us, but you're not the same kind of platformer.
You're old news, Crash.
Yeah, you're gonna do it, Bubsy? Oh god, absolutely not. You're gonna do it, Glover? Oh, you fence-sitting harlot! You're releasing on both these fucking systems.
How long can we do this? Pandemonium? Tomba?
Hey, Tomba's not even in the conversation. That's a 2D side scroller.
Alright, what about 40 Winks?
What the hell's 40 Winks?
You're such a... You think you're real.
I only know about slick, brand new topical games like Hurdy-Gurdy for the PS2.
What's your favourite game of the year, Connor?
Oh, what, this year?
Yeah.
Deltarune Chapter 4.
Ugh. Don't you know that in Clair Obscur they have big eyes?
Oh,
big
fuck.
sad eyes.
Hey, sometimes Susie gets really big eyes.
She does. And she's kind of sad by the end of that one.
Oh, yeah. As a result, while Crash was doing absolutely fine by itself, Sony were kind of going like, all right, let's see what we can do here. Let's see what's making Mario work. It's clearly the movement, it's the way that it designs its levels, it's this openness.
I think that was specifically in the market for more family games, right?
Yeah.
Because it was seen that the N64 had an overwhelming advantage in that field.
Yeah, so they wanted to make sure they could get into that sector by getting their platformers, like, right.
Yeah.
And part of the thing that helped that was actually putting analog sticks onto your bloody controllers. Didn't help Croc, though. That's still tank controls.
Why aren't we playing Croc? Let's go.
We can play Croc.
No. And don't maybe tap the sign, which is that tank controls only work in fixed camera angle games with little combat.
So then Sony were just kind of like, all right. We'll get someone to make a game. We're gonna make a Mario. Who are you? Insomniac? You'll do it, right?
Didn't Insomniac... Wasn't the game they made before this like a robot game? Like a mech game or something like that?
It might have been, yeah.
Yeah, they made a game called Disruptor.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was a Dark Horse of the Year, loved by John Romero. So... Now you know.
And he went on to make Daikatana after that.
Well, listen, there's stuff out there.
Yeah.
You couldn't make Daikatana.
I could not make Daikatana. I would make Drake of the 99 Dragons. I couldn't make Daikatana.
You think you got what it takes to make Sniper...
Do you think I've got what it takes to make the Sniper 2? Absolutely. I could do that in a month.
You can make Kasuge games?
Yeah.
Hell yeah, dude.
Oh, fuck. I'll get my Unreal Engine 4 knowledge back out.
Your Unreal Engine 4 remake of Sniper 2.
Oh, yeah!
Nintendo hired this man.
That'd be great.
It's incredibly shiny John Sniper with his fucking rifle.
I love that as far as the audience is concerned, we've just talked about the Sniper 2. You've already forgotten the name of anyone in that game.
Hey, there's Claire Redfield. Claire Anderson? Is that
Claire
her name?
Anderson, yeah.
There's Leonardo DiCaprio. What's his name? He's called Vincento. He's called Virgil.
Virgil?
He's the evil guy with the hair.
No, that's Dante.
Dante.
Yeah.
I think I nailed it.
We'll put the cast of the Sniper 2 on screen and see how many of them Ash got
Fire
right.
Emblem episode where I've got to try and remember all their names.
So Sony turned to Insomniac and go, all right, do you guys have what it takes to make the Mario killer? And
do you guys have what it takes to usher in the new Dragon Age?
Yeah. And Insomniac turn around and they're showing off this like little game where it's like mature.
Your hands cupped like they're like Oliver Twist. Please, can I have some Mario?
And in their little cupped hands is a mature game about Dragon Knights or whatever the fuck it was.
It was like, I did so much research for the last episode and I've forgotten it all. But it was a game where you played as a dragon that was like, every level would be like a different era in history. And my favourite part of that was that one of the eras was the Civil War, Confederates versus the Union. And like the guy who was talking in the interview was like, and you could make them fight each other. And I'm like, yeah, they were probably already doing that.
So they're bringing their little... That's what's in their hands. It's a little miniature toy soldiers from their like Civil War set, and then a plastic dragon put on top of it. Yeah, it's Ben Horn from fucking Twin Peaks. We had fucking Log Lady last episode. This episode we've got Ben Horn.
This is our like early Doctor Who Bad Wolf setup for the Deadly Premonition episode.
Yes!
It's all going to make sense.
Deadly Premonition needs to be one of our big number games.
It does.
Like episode 40 or something.
We just talk about Twin Peaks for 4 hours.
Hey, if we bring Xenon for that, it definitely would be.
So they had this mature dragon game.
Where you make Confederates fight each other.
In some kind of civil dispute.
Yeah, and Sony immediately chucked that out and they just went, no, make a child dragon game. You gotta make a Mario now. And they go, oh, alright then,
We're
fine.
getting slaughtered out here. We're only selling the N64 by 3-1.
Oh, guys. So... While, Rareware are making fucking Banjo-Kazooie, which is sort of the next point of that sort of, like, 3D platforming zone, Insomniac turn around and they go, yeah, we've got a game. It's called Pete's Dragon, and it's about a little green dragon. And then Sony go, hold the fuck up. You can't call it Pete's Dragon.
A green dragon?
No way. It's crazy. Nada. Get that out of here. Try again.
Green dragon, he's gonna blend in with the grass.
Yeah, he is. They're not gonna be able to see him.
He's gonna be playing an invisible guy running around.
Mario's not wearing a fucking ghillie suit. Come on, keep up, guys. So then Insomniac go, oh, alright, fine.
I'm sorry, you just saying that made me think of Mario platforming around the Chernobyl explosion zone. Woohoo!
50 million people. 50 million people?
50 million people killed. The government's hushing it up.
Well, there goes my fucking bit.
Gorbachev's gonna go down. This is an anti-Gorbachev podcast. I'm just gonna put it out right now. Bring back Brezhnev.
This episode is incomprehensible. This is great. Oh my god. Sorry, viewer, if you can figure out what the hell I was going with that, then please chime in.
Get in touch.
But eventually, Insomniac kind of work things out. They go, alright, we're gonna make him purple. We're going to call him Pyro. No, that's too mature. We're going to call him Spyro. That much better.
That they thought calling him Pyro was too mature. That's such a 90s attitude to have.
Yeah.
No, if he's called Pyro, it'd be too radical.
Yeah. They bring in fucking Charles Ambillis, the character designer for Crash Bandicoot, to make this little dragon. Yeah.
Damn.
So that's another point of overlap.
Sorry, just to get some bookkeeping out of the way. Obviously when Crash left Sony, it went to Universal. They were made in conjunction with each other.
Yeah.
Was it the same with Spyro? Did they get Universal at the end of those 3 games as well?
Yeah, I believe it was another case like Crash where they had a 3-game contract, and once that contract was done, Insomniac wouldn't own Spyro anymore. They wouldn't be able to make any more Spyro games, and Universal would have it.
And they'd go, check this out. Oh.
And they vomit on the floor, and Enter the Dragonfly comes out.
Start twitching.
Nah, poor Eurocom. They bring in a fucking a rocket scientist to design the flight controls for Spyro, which is
literally rocket science.
It's literally rocket science to make this video game. And they spend a long time just like trying to refine that control scheme, because they figure out quite early on, like they were playing games like Mario 64 while designing Spyro to go, okay, what makes these games fun?
Yeah.
And they obviously nail down that it's the movement.
It's a very intelligent point to make. As a self-reflection from them making this game, playing Mario and being like, if this isn't good to make Spyro move around, we're done. We're sunk.
Yeah.
Like, it has to feel good in its own unique way.
Well, exactly, yeah. I think that's what was really the sink or swim about a lot of these platformers. Like, there are people out there that do still quite like games like Bubsy 3D, and like Croc. Croc more so. But ultimately, they end up releasing this sort of single-player, cartoony platformer as part of their agreement with Sony. And it doesn't do Mario numbers. It doesn't even do Crash numbers.
It's 1998, right?
Yeah. But it still does bloody well. And
I think what I read is that it started off slow and then kind of blew up after a while.
Yeah.
Like, sales were slow, but it was one of those games. Like, children's content is always kind of a slow burn anyway.
Yeah.
So it was very much like, this isn't so good at first. Ooh. Let's go. We're popping off.
Yeah, I mean, the demo for Spyro 1 was packaged on the disc called Crash Free.
Yeah. Wasn't it vice versa as well?
Yes, yeah. You'd have the same sort of things. They kind of cross-promoted each other.
Swap and spit.
Yeah, I think that's why there's always this idea that these two franchises are super well linked, because that ownership by Sony and Universal meant that they did kind of like get released alongside one another a lot of the time.
I mean, honestly, yeah, you're right. But I also feel like the PlayStation 1 brand was so tangible.
Yeah.
Like, it was so mixed in with the vibe of the 90s that those just existing in the same space and being vaguely similar, that's just like an orbit they couldn't escape, you know?
Yeah. And it's just very interesting how many people like both of those franchises. Like, you might meet someone who loves Crash and has never touched a Spyro game, but it's very unlikely you'll meet someone who's only played Spyro and never given Crash a go and also really liked it.
Yeah.
Which I just think is sort of an interesting part of this interconnectivity.
Yeah.
It does make it a shame, though, because obviously in our modern context, Spyro unfortunately gets relegated to being a cameo character in Crash games, which is very upsetting.
Crash Team Rumble, baby.
Oh my god. And Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled.
Yeah.
Which was a better way of doing that kind of thing, I think.
I suppose so, yeah. We'd all feel better about it, though, if there was more Spyro love.
Exactly.
But you wouldn't like it anyway.
Oh...
You'd be like, oh, that girl's got dyed hair now. This is fucked up.
That's not what I dislike about Crash 4.
Yeah, but let's pretend that it is.
I mean, honestly, considering the way the remakes went and my opinions on both of those, I probably would like a Spyro 4 more than Crash 4.
Yeah. 5 colourful worlds to explore.
Yeah. Oh, like Enter the Dragonfly. There's only 5 worlds and you're done.
Rather than Crash 4's box hell.
Yeah.
Break all 9,000 boxes without dying once.
And the game keeps fucking going.
Yeah.
But yeah, do we want to talk about how you actually play Spyro? What's it like to be him? What's it like to...
You know, men want to be him, women want to be with him. Yeah, I've not played this game in 2 weeks. I kind of forget how it plays. I think you jump.
So, Spyro unfortunately doesn't quite meet that same sort of complexity of movement that Mario has, because...
No, not at all, really.
Not at all. Although, to be fair, a lot of Mario's sort of movement options are very much sort of like hidden things that you kind of pick up by experimenting with him.
Yeah.
Spyro's movement is a lot more sort of laid out for you and made quite clear from the start. You've got your analog stick or your D-pad to move around, where you kind of gallop around in a sort of nice little turning circle.
Yeah.
You've got the square button to charge forward, sort of piercing enemies and items with his horns.
Increasing your speed as well.
Yeah, increasing your speed, which is pretty important.
Yeah.
You've got the circle button to shoot fire out of your mouth. They didn't forget that the dragon can fucking do that. If they hadn't, then I think this game wouldn't have gone down anywhere near as well. And then there is also Spyro's glide. He's only a little dragon. He can't reach the great ascending heights of his peers.
And I always think that's one of the things I like most about Spyro. I think this is the thing that I identify as marking the good platformer mascots, is when everything about the character design informs the way the character plays.
Yeah.
Because everything about Spyro is kind of decided by the fact that he's a little baby dragon.
Yeah.
So he can't fly as good, he can only glide.
Yeah.
His fire isn't as powerful as an adult dragon, so he's got these little bursts. They really thought about how to make those two things connect with one another in a way that makes him a satisfying character to control.
Yeah, I fully agree with that. I think that the glide's a really good middle ground in terms of giving you the freedom of almost flight.
Yeah.
Without it being something that would completely crack open all of the level design, you know?
Well, I think that's one of the most fascinating things you read about with interviews with Insomniac, is them saying, yeah, so we gave you this glide, and it changed everything about the way that the levels work. Because suddenly you can go from place to place with less problems.
Yeah.
And you can really see it in the layout of the levels, because like Mario 64's levels are quite small and boxy.
Yeah.
Whereas Spyro's are these big vistas, these big spread out islands, you know? It's much more, to me, it's much more of a sense of a world, because the areas are so big, if you get what I mean.
Yeah. Obviously, both of these games, Mario and Spyro, a lot of them are about exploration in order to find your collectibles, but Spyro does this quite well by giving you this idea of, like, there's a distant island over there, and you can see the faint glimmer of a gem, and your idea is you're trying to climb up to a height where you are in order to gently glide over there, and you get much more of a sense that Spyro can go anywhere. It doesn't work for every level. There are some cases where the PlayStation 1 has its limits. But I think
Not the PlayStation 1.
But when they embrace this idea of the Spyro worlds being fantastical and then being almost these islands in the sky, it works a lot better for them.
It's so good for the game's mood, because I always really like, this is a bit of inside baseball, but on Connor's computer, all of his backgrounds are like rotating pictures of different Spyro levels.
Yeah.
And they're so cozy to look at.
Yeah.
In a way that I feel like Dire Docs isn't.
Yeah, that's fair.
Or Little World, Big World, or whatever it's called.
Mario 64's got its own weird little art style that I kind of love, but it's a different kind of whimsy.
Yeah.
There's a reason I have the Spyro ones, and it's not just because of the nostalgia, it's because of this calm, contemplative sort of effect.
There's a lot of like very warm, rich colours as well. Like it's very soothing to have as your background on the screen.
Yeah, it's very vibrant, and still very coordinated in its own way with like the way its colours work. I love the way that this game looks.
Yeah.
I think that its sequels just kind of like up the ante a little bit more each time.
Yeah. But that's what you want, right?
Exactly.
You want escalation rather than decay.
Yeah.
Rot.
Yeah.
Entropy.
Yeah. If this game was about rot, it would be a very different feeling, wouldn't it?
I want every subsequent Spyro game to inflict a higher level of sanity damage on me every time I play it. So the glide is a glide. It has its limits. You can't fly forever. And Spyro does lose height as he goes.
Yeah.
He can't stay aloft for very long. He also has his roll, Connor. My favourite move in the whole game. Because you kept trying to beat me down. You kept trying to limit my possibilities. You said I could never use the roll for anything useful. And I proved you wrong time and again. I proved the indomitable nature of the human spirit with that roll.
Ash has played every Souls-like game. She treats Spyro like a Souls-like.
Yeah, I'm rolling around.
Yeah. She's got her builds down perfectly.
Yeah.
It's
I'm like, Connor, what's that
wonderful.
affects damage scaling? And you look at me with disdawn. She's just like, what the fuck are you talking about?
You know, I think that's what they should do for Spyro 4.
Oh, God.
Yeah. I think you should have to go to Moneybags and he forges you new armor or...
I think the only mechanic they should bring in from Dark Souls is that Spyro should go hollow.
Every time he dies?
Yeah.
That'd be horrible.
Yeah, and then you can't summon in phantoms for bosses. So you can't defeat Dr. Schlemp or whatever his name
Dark
is.
Spirit, Dark Spyro has appeared.
Dude, I can't beat the Rizzler without... I couldn't think of any.
You couldn't think of any Spyro boss
There's
name.
Dr. Sleep by Stephen King.
Dr. Sleep.
There's the robot man with the lightning.
Yeah.
There's Breezy. Called Easy Breezy in the Japanese version.
Oh, yeah. That's pretty cool. That could be true for all I know.
Yeah. I can tell you anything about that.
But yeah, these are your general tools in order sort of to navigate your environment, to overcome enemies, break open containers that give you your collectibles, which are primarily throughout the game gems. Little coloured gems that each have a different value depending on their colour, scattered around everywhere and are also dropped by enemies the first time that you defeat them.
Well, apparently, according to the lore of Spyro 1, all of the enemies used to be gems.
Yeah.
And they have been turned into enemies by the nasty machinations of Gnasty Nork.
The nasty machinations of Gnasty Nork.
Listen, man.
No, I'm not making fun of you. I deliberately did the machinations bit.
It's New Year's Day, okay?
It's New Year's Day.
I'm tired.
Nappy New Year.
So I'm going to kill you dead.
That's kind of spread out across 5 different hub worlds that have their own little levels splintering off them that you enter through via these portals littered around the areas. But your main objective is actually in order to get to these statues of dragons.
Yeah.
That each have their own names and personalities in quotation marks.
Wish they didn't, but...
Which typically give you tutorial advice, or they just say, thank you for releasing me, and they disappear. And those are kind of like... And I would say that those are your equivalent of like the stars in Mario or the crystals in Crash. Like those are the things you need to progress, but that's not strictly true.
In the pecking order of collectibles, the dragons are like the stars, basically.
Yeah. Whereas gems are just kind of a loose, small thing that you collect. They don't add to any currency. You don't have to spend them on anything.
True, but you do need them to beat the game.
You do need them to beat the game. Typically, your way to get to each of the new hub worlds is via a balloonist who will ask you to collect a certain number of things in each world. He'll normally go like, oh yeah, if you free 10 dragons, you can go to the next world. Or if you've got like 1,000 gems, you can go to the next world.
I hate those balloonists. With all my soul.
Why so? They're just doing their job.
If they were in the real world, they would have been collaborationists in Vichy France. Like, Spyro's like, listen, man, I gotta go save the world, And he's like, what if you collected 8 eggs first? Shut up. Who are you? Get me to peacekeepers. Stop fucking around. Like...
It's like they're fucking Philippe Baton being like,
Yeah.
I've made a balloon. I pilot this, collect 10 dragon eggs, and I'll take you to Algiers.
They also raise a lot of fucking questions. Because there are no... Alright, in the world of Spyro, as given to us by Spyro 1, there are dragons, there are Norks, apparently,
Yeah.
there are fairies, there are egg thieves, and then there are balloonists.
Yeah.
What? The balloonist's job is to use balloons to teleport you from world to world in a world with dragons.
Yeah.
What the hell? Who are the balloonists?
But they're just guys.
I need this lore, Connor. Where's Vati Vidya with his soft tones?
Well, I guess they're there for the people who aren't dragons, who can't fly really far.
like who?
Well, I mean, Spyro's a baby dragon. He can't fly there.
Yeah, but in usual circumstances, an adult dragon would fly him somewhere. Why are they balloonists?
The list goes on. The only show that talks about Vichy France.
I'm gonna bet. I'm gonna go out on a limb. I think we're the only people who have talked about Spyro 1 and Vichy France in the same content.
I've never seen Kadikarus do it.
That's why we're gonna dethrone him.
We're gonna dethrone Kadikarus.
We will ascend the throne.
All right. Well, this is your challenge, Kadikarus. Can you best us in the arena? You funny man, you goddamn inspiration. I love you.
Actual success.
Yeah. But
what were we talking about?
Oh, we're talking about game mechanics. I'm just going to segue on, I think. But Spyro is not alone on his quest. He's joined by a little companion dragonfly called Sparx,
That's the end of Sparx. He doesn't do anything in this game.
What do you mean? He's like the most useful part of this lineup.
No. I mean, as a health system, yeah. But as a character, he's just there.
Oh, I don't think it's just about him being a health system. Because the thing is that in a lot of sort of collectathon games, you kind of need to walk directly into an object in order to pick them up. But Sparx being around you, he's there to pick up the gems and collectibles around you. And it works really well with the movements to allow you to just gallop along around the treasure. You don't have to awkwardly move to every point and then spin around and get to the next point.
No, it makes it very smooth.
Yeah.
There's a really great indicator of how useful that feature is, because Sparx can die. And Spyro can live on. Yeah. And when you get to that point and you have to get the gems yourself, you're like, I need Sparx back right fucking now.
Yeah.
This is really annoying.
No, you get him back in a way that is kind of beautifully brutal in a way I kind of enjoy, which is that Spyro needs to find little creatures and livestock that are around the levels, burn them to a crisp, or pierce them with his horns. But when you do kill this livestock, these little butterflies come out, and you're like, oh, it's a cute little butterfly. And then Sparx flies over and eats it. And as a kid...
There's a little baby bird!
As a kid, it's an incredible polarizing flip-flop of emotions, where you go, oh, cute sheep. Oh shit, I killed it. Oh, a butterfly. Oh shit, I killed it. Oh, I'm better now. That's what I have to do. And I kind of adore that you have to do this, because this is a reminder of you are a fucking dragon. You are the same creature that in most folklore, like, terrorizes villages and collects gold and kidnaps damsels.
You come to realize that you were the villain all along.
Yeah.
In your quest for revenge.
Yeah.
You perpetuated the cycles of violence.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, I think Insomniac's kind of got a dark sense of humor anyway in this sort of era, so I think that kind of shows through with what they do with Spyro here. I kind of like that about it.
And this, once again, raises incredibly important questions that I need an answer for. Because, alright, so he has, like 4 colours that he transitions through as different health totals?
3.
He's got 3 colours, and then when his 3 colours have depleted, he disappears.
Yeah.
And you're alone. Spyro alone.
Yeah.
But then when you kill a butterfly, he would then rematerialize. So do you think on that occasion, Spyro has to commit a dark ritual to resurrect the corpse of Sparx? Because where else does he come from?
I think the implication is that Sparx is like, oh, that's a snack, that's something I can eat, and he comes back from where he was to go eat them. But I prefer the idea more that Spyro performs a ritual in order to...
It's like a Pet Cemetery thing.
Yeah.
Sometimes dead's better.
But yeah, as you say, Sparx is a sort of health indicator for you, because otherwise Spyro is just like most other platforming heroes where he dies in one hit to everything. So he's a pretty crucial guy to have around for...
Power level, Bandicoot, Dragon. They are the same.
They are the same.
They both take one hit.
And they can both instantly crush their enemies.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, although I like Crash's approach a lot more.
I will say, I do like Crash more than Spyro.
Yeah.
I like that Crash is afraid.
He's a better character.
Yeah.
Spyro in Spyro 1 is honestly kind of obnoxious. I don't like him in this game.
I don't like any character in this game. I don't mean to be rude or anything, but...
You don't even have some sympathies for Gnasty Gnorc?
You know, I sympathise.
Alright.
That was what my childhood was like as well.
We'll elaborate later. But in terms of why you have these moves, like, what's the point of having a charge and a flame, you know?
I can't wait for you to tell me, man.
And simply put, it's because there's quite a large variety of enemies in this game. And although
I'd say quite a large quantity of enemies as well. I'd say most maps have, like, dozens of enemies on them.
Yeah, they do. They're fucking running around all over the goddamn place.
Out of control.
And what you typically find is that you will have larger enemies that can't be charged but can be flamed.
Yeah.
And you have armored enemies that can't be flamed because their metal just kind of absorbs the heat, but they can be charged, and you can just sort of pierce through that metal and get rid of them instantly. You also get some little goobers that can be killed in both ways, and they're just kind of funny. Like, they never stood a chance.
It sounds kind of silly as well, because this is like, in terms of making the gameplay more complicated, this is like 0.2% more complicated.
Yeah.
Yeah, it actually kind of does make the game feel a lot more dynamic.
Oh, yeah.
Because you have to actually think about how to approach enemies, even if it isn't the most simple A or B. The A or B does make it feel more complicated and thus more interesting.
Well, exactly, especially if they have a large quantity of those in one spot. Where you kind of have to shift quite frequently between charging through a bunch of them and then stopping to flame another and this sort of thing.
And what I always like about it is that the charging gives you, like, momentum.
Yeah.
So you have to... It's quite difficult to charge into an enemy and then stop and then hit another enemy with a fire. You have to kind of think about that in a more complicated way.
It's just a fun feeling as well to just gallop really fast through the levels as Spyro, I think. Like, I think it really adds a lot.
Yeah. Honestly, whenever I play these games, I'm basically always charging. Because it's just fun.
Yeah.
It's like be rolling around. Like, because his legs are doing that real cartoon, like, spinny chariot wheel thing. So it's just kind of like, it's fun to watch.
It's a great way of doing a mechanic like that, because I think if you compare it to something like Sonic, or I guess Adventure Sonic, it's things like the spin dash where you have to stop for a bit, wind up, you go through really fast and it does damage, but you have to calculate it. You can't do that constantly because you will just plummet to your death.
Yeah.
Whereas here, charging kind of feels a lot more seamless. It makes you feel like you're just plowing through this column of enemies and you're turning around and going for another go.
Yeah, I think it works a lot more in Spyro because the levels are a lot more flat.
Yeah.
So it feels less, like there's less of a risk if you charge because the levels are designed to accommodate for it in a way that I never feel like Sonic is.
Yeah.
Like Sonic feels like you're just speeding through it so quickly that you're like, was there a level there? I guess so.
Yeah.
Whereas here, the charging kind of feels like a satisfying way to get around that isn't messy.
I agree with that fully, and I've got a lot of good memories of just charging through worlds I've already beaten, collected everything in. But those sort of charging, flaming mechanics are also useful for some of the containers that have your little gems you're trying to collect in them. Some of them are metal boxes that need to be charged through, and it's always satisfying to have a big row of them and just pummel through them all and get that sort of kinetic sound of the clang. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
The glittering of the gems.
Yes.
I will build my hoard. Do you know what this game could have done with?
What?
A room in like the first hub world that's your hoard.
Yeah.
But there's a big pile of gems that you could just go look at.
I would have loved that, actually, because the idea is that you're collecting these gems back for the rest of the dragons, and it would be great if it was like Donkey Kong's Banana Horde, you just go and like collect these back in your house.
I'm actually a big proponent of a more alternative way of playing Donkey Kong Country, where it's in theory about depression, where all you do is go and check your bananas, and then go back to the hammock and sit there like, oh... Because there's always that cutscene when you go back into the banana horde and Donkey Kong's like, no!
Yeah. Anyway, we're talking about containers in Spyro.
You get gems. The gems do nothing.
But there are also these sort of like fancy baskets that contain gems that you can break honestly either way.
Yeah.
But I think they also realize, we need to have a variety of containers that have gems in them. So they also have a bunch of superfluous ones that you kind of have to do really weird things to open them with.
Yeah, you gotta like get the super dragon charge and shoot fireworks at them and all kinds of weird things.
Yeah, like the ones that are the lock boxes where they're metal and you charge into them and you're like, why doesn't that break? And it's like, I have to go to another bit of the level and do this. There are also sometimes fireworks, which is kind of a fun idea because it's something you have to flame. If you charge into it, you'll hurt yourself. But at the same time, you just kind of flame them. You walk away, you wait for a bit, it flies off, it lands, you go collect it. And I guess for a kid, that's great, but I feel like gameplay-wise, it's kind of blah.
There's also those really terrible ones where it's like a box and there's a gem in the top of it, and you knock it and the gem comes out the top, and you have to jump and get the gem.
Yeah.
When you break those, do more gems come out of the box?
No.
Because then what's the point of the box?
Right, yeah.
It's like there's nothing in the box.
Yeah, I think it's literally they just took whatever idea they had, coded it, and went, fine.
Yeah, sure.
It'll do. It looks different in the level, so we'll keep it. Because those never appear again after Spyro 1.
not?
No.
Gotta find that one guy who's like, Spyro 1's the only good one, because it has those boxes in it. They totally ruined it by taking it out.
Yeah, like the lock boxes at least have, an exploration mechanic to them. The fireworks have spectacle. The fucking gem come up for a bit and you have to jump over the box to get it. Nah. Oh, and there's also the windmill ones where you have to flame a spinny top 3 times and then it will break and then the gem will come out of it. Which is, again, it's like, I just stand here and flame it for a bit.
Standing here, I flame 3 times.
I think that would have been a better way to have done Gnasty Gnorc's boss fight, I think. Would have been.
There's nothing that further or better exemplifies the decline of Western civilization than the fact that we're talking about the 5 different box types in Spyro. This one you have to flame in a certain way, and this one you have to charge into in a certain way.
And somehow we fit a Metal Gear Rising Revengeance reference into there. Holy shit.
How do you segue out of that boxes part?
I don't fucking know. I mean, there is a third collectible that we haven't really talked about, which are the egg thieves.
Delicious eggs, yeah.
So there are these little guys that are wrapped up in sort of like blue robes that have stolen baby dragon eggs, and they're running around and you have to chase after them in order to catch them, kill them, and grab the egg and collect those. I think in order to leave the Magic Crafters world, you have to...
You have to have 5 eggs.
Yeah, you have to have at least 5 eggs in order to do that.
I want to go to the Egg Thieves world.
Where they live?
I want to see their civilization.
You know what? I think Balloonists are reformed egg thieves.
Alright.
Because they're both guys with little voids and eyes.
You've got me, I'm in.
Yeah,
I appreciate that lore.
Yeah.
That's my headcanon now.
Yeah, well that's the thing. I mean, Spyro is completely just to throw anything out there into the world and be like, it's a fantasy world, fucking whatever.
But what I love about the Egg Thieves is that it seems to me they're just doing it for the love of the game.
Yeah.
They don't seem to have like an objective in mind.
No, they're not made of gems. They just like stealing eggs, I guess. Like they're the problem the dragons would have to deal with if Gnasty Gnorc wasn't a fucking douche. But that's generally the main kind of like gameplay loop and stuff that you do in Spyro. I mean, there's like a few kind of like levels where you fly around for a bit, where you don't have just gliding, you can have full freeform flights. And they're kind of like timed challenges where you're trying to break 8 of a certain thing in the level.
Yeah.
You got to do that to 4 different sort of like collections of things, and it's mostly just a way to get gems for 100% completion, really.
Yeah, it's just fun.
Yeah, they're just fun. They're just
a
like
fun little thing to do.
They're just a shake up to
Break
the
up the
gameplay.
pace.
Yeah. And they're very optional, really.
Very optional.
Very much so. So, we've obviously talked about how this game plays, generally speaking.
Yeah.
But
Well, it plays well.
Yeah, it does play well.
It's simple but satisfying.
I thought that was a
I
like
was
you were
interjecting.
say something.
Well, have we though?
Have we?
Have we really captured the nuance of it?
I bet I will have somehow forgotten something, but...
We didn't talk about first-person mode.
Oh yeah, when you hold triangle to like look around. Yeah.
Has no use in this game, but
It's mostly just to be like, all right, where am I going? That way, yeah, all right, sure. No, let's talk about the plot in this game.
I do want to make it clear that more questions are raised, which we never get answers to, because someone is conducting a TV interview with the dragons. You never know who this person is.
No.
And never is there an implication or a suggestion that televisions exist in the Spyro world.
No.
But they're doing a TV interview with this dragon, this kind of sleepy dragon.
Yeah.
And he's like, Mr. Dragon, sir, what do you think about the recent threats made by Gnasty Gnorc? And then a big, buff, cool dragon rocks up, and he's like, I'll take that question, Mr. Reporter. Gnasty Gnorc's a dumbass motherfucker. He's a son of a bitch. He couldn't do anything to us. Now, this is apparently, like, me, 1939. I'm like, Hitler, what can he do? He's got nothing. And then he clips his fucking fingers. Gnasty Gnorc is watching.
Yeah.
He's on his little sofa. He's drinking a beer. You know, he's yelling at his wife. and he's watching the television, and he sees the dragons criticizing him, calling him out, catching strays, you know what I mean? And apparently Gnasty Gnorc at this point decides, alright, enough is enough. I'm going to utilize the power that I've had all along to instantly transform all dragons into statue and turn every gem into an enemy. And it's like, well, you could do that? Why are you watching TV then? Like...
That was a short-sightedness on the dragon's part.
And Spyro's like, okay, well, now I have to go through 5 colourful worlds. And off he goes.
Yeah, he does, to go and save the rest of the dragons.
There is then not a single cutscene until the end of the game.
That's all you need.
That's it, baby.
And honestly, you know what? That's fair. That's fine.
Yeah, would you say that was a fair assessment of the opening chapters of this game?
I think it's correct. I think that's absolutely true. Although the manual gives us a few extra answers.
Yeah, Connor's been waving this manual at me for the last hour or so.
What I'm talking...
Until I get to this manual, you'll be running scared then.
Now, I must fret viewers, this is nowhere near as exciting as the Crash Bandicoot manual that deserved a tangent of its own.
Good times.
But as far as the manual is concerned, it kind of says that the dragons lived in a perfect harmony until a Gnorc broke all the rules.
What? What are the rules?
It doesn't say.
Was he jaywalking?
I'm just telling you what it says. It's very draconian, this lore, I think. So it also goes on to establish that Gnasty Gnorc combines the short temper of a gnome with the bad attitude of an orc. So
what?
So he's not a unique creature. He's a marriage between.
He's an avatar monster.
Yeah,
it's like two things smushed together. Also, the short temper of a gnome.
Yeah,
gnomes known for their incandescence. Like
maybe in some folklore, I've never heard of it. I got to ask my gnome experts out
right
here.
Into your gnome facts.
Submit a cool gnome fact and win a t-shirt. I don't know. What am I doing? I keep making new bits.
We've got t-shirt designs.
We do have a t-shirt design now.
Not for you, though. We made them for ourselves. You don't get to see.
Yeah, we'll make one in Jackbox TKO for you. We'll just scribble it on. A very crude picture of Gnasty Gnorc.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. Gnasty Gnorc, his name is spelt with a G at the front. A GN at the front of orc.
GN apostrophe, right?
Not even an apostrophe.
Oh,
it's just G in front of the
I thought
N.
it was like Gnasty, like it was like a French solicitor.
Well, that's what the interviewer says. He says, "What about this Gnasty Gnorc?" And then the dragon just says Gnasty Gnorc and clarifies that's how you actually say the name. I guess him being a gnome is where the Gn comes from. The Gn. But apparently Gnasty Gnorc detests the fact that dragons had a bunch of these shiny gems. So he concocted a potion that turns gems into monsters?
I didn't see no potion in my playthrough.
No, there isn't one in the game at all. And he develops a spell in order... It's deliberately called the freeze spell to turn the dragons into crystal. And the entire reason that Spyro does not get hit by this spell is because he is too short, so it goes over his head.
Once again, the fact that Spyro is a short dragon. That is from whence everything flows.
Yeah, exactly.
Is Spyro the only child dragon?
I mean...
Shut up. Where are all the women? There are no women in this game.
Ash coming in with the, oh god, there needs to be a female character in this game for me to like it, sort of point.
100%. It is confusing, though. There are no girl dragons.
Maybe the dragon...
Where's Pyro? Ember?
The dragon... What? Oh, you mean... Well... What? Yeah, Ember is a dragon.
Listen, I don't want to, poison the well too much here. But the fact that in Spyro 3, many of the eggs you recover, the dragon eggs you recover, are female dragons. What's happening?
Well, I think the dragons have a different concept of gender to us. I think they
made Spyro woke.
I don't know enough about dragon biology.
Dragon gender culture?
I don't. No. I really don't. It's not elaborated on in this game. The manual's got nothing for me, Ash. All it says here is Gnasty Gnorc cast a free spell, he devised a potion, he established Vichy France. That's all it says.
Well, good on him, really.
What seems like a fun time flaming Gnorc soon turns to the adventure of Spyro's young life. When he meets Gnasty Gnorc for the final conflict, his destiny can truly be fulfilled.
Gnasty Gnorc. Ripto. The Sorceress.
Yeah.
Hitler. Mussolini. Tojo. Which one is which?
Well, Gnasty Gnorc is Mussolini, absolutely.
Yeah, obviously. He's sitting in northern Italy like a dumbass watching TV. And then, alright, you're gonna have to cut this out.
Alright.
But the sorceress is Tojo because she's stealing all the South Korean babies. The allegations, they ain't been...
Holy shit.
From Tojo's Hitler because he believes in pseudoscience.
Who's the Shanghai Shek of Spyro?
Hunter.
Because he's always fucking it up. Hunter would blunder the Chinese Civil War.
Oh, hi, Spyro. I heard you were fomenting anti-government opposition.
We can't publish this. We can't do it.
Anyway, he brewed an evil potion.
Yeah, that was the potion. So that's the entire framework of it. I mean, the very first thing you do in the game is you just walk up to a dragon and Spyro's like, where's Gnasty Gnorc? I'm gonna beat his ass. And the dragon goes, no, just find other dragons. God.
Well, that is the downside, right, of, like, the whole freezing spell, is that it can be dispelled by a dragon walking up to you.
Yeah.
Like, it just, bloop, done.
I guess his gambit was he would get all the dragons, so that would never happen. Because fucking Marco the Balloonist isn't gonna go fix it. He could have been the hero of this.
Marco the Balloonist would be like, if you give me $20, maybe. Selfish monster.
Well, if you give me 5 of your unborn children, maybe I'll give you a ride.
I'm also really sorry that all of my criticism of this game has been, Marco the Balloonist doesn't make narrative sense. But, like, when Spyro rescues the first dragon, right? That first dragon isn't like, I'll go help you with the dragon problem. He's like, well, get to it, Spyro. I've got stuff to do.
This is the only problem. This is the
You know what I mean?
But Hunter better catch this kind of shade when we get to Spyro 2 and 3.
Oh, I'm coming for Hunter. Don't you worry about that. But that's what, like, you rescue one of the adult dragons, and he's like, well, good luck, Spyro.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go do whatever it was I was doing beforehand.
That's the thing. Yeah, that is the thing. You free the dragons, they give you a tutorial prompt, and then they just disappear and they never turn up
again. Are you not gonna help me with this whole dragon problem? I guess not.
Yeah, they're gone.
Yeah.
They're out of there. They started this whole fucking problem by making a diss track on live television, apparently.
They were Raber saddling.
They were, yeah.
Let's ignore that I said Raber saddling.
Raber Sattling would be a really good side character in a long novel.
A long novel?
Yeah. Don't know what genre. It could be a romance novel. Could be a fucking poem.
You can tell that Connor is a master of books.
I've got many books on my shelf.
All Halo related.
Hey now. Raber Sattling would be the hero of the UNSC when he crashes his ship into a Covenant carrier and does nothing.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's the story, right?
That is the story of Spyro 1. Which brings us to the first world of the game, the Artisans Homeworld. Pretty much your bog-standard, normal world of the Spyro
Beautiful
kingdom.
meadows, nice little castle in the background.
Yeah, very vivid, bright greens and a blue sky. Lots of bouncing sheep around. The Gnorcs in this homeworld are quite fun to me because they don't actually harm you. They just run away. They see a dragon who hasn't been frozen in crystal and they're like, oh, fuck.
I mean, I guess those guys have only recently been birthed from crystal.
Yeah.
They're like, what the fuck is going on?
They don't know what the fuck's happening.
Maybe it's less that those Gnorcs are less sophisticated than the later Gnorcs, but more that those Gnorcs have more time to get used to life.
Yeah.
The Gnorcs in the first one are like, what is happening? I was a blue crystal 2 minutes ago.
Well, I think Spyro has a lot of things to say about how your environment informs how your upbringing is, because the Gnorcs in the Peacekeeper Kingdom immediately grab weapons and become militants.
They start encampments.
Yeah. So the Beastkeepers ones decide to invent electricity somehow. No idea how that fucking...
That's just good like that.
Yeah. I think for the most part, most of these levels are very quaint. They're very basic. They're there to kind of...
That's Pleasant Ridge.
Might as well be.
Stone Waves.
Oh, I mean, those are too creative.
Yeah.
Those are too creative. Like, as far as the levels in Spyro are concerned, like, they've got their own vibe going on with each of them, but their names do not help at all. Because given that we both started with Spyro 3, and we're used to each of the worlds in a Spyro game being these kind of creative different themes that have these fun little stories going on in them. But the thing is that Spyro 1 starts with cliff town and high cave.
Yo, high cave.
And it's just like, oh, cool. Terrace Village, great name. And as a result, I think how interesting a world is entirely dependent on how interesting the theme of their, like, hub world is.
Yeah.
Because the Artisans' homeworld is quite cozy, it's quite fun, it's a good sort of tone setter.
Yeah.
But there's not a lot to write home about them, really. There's one that's a town, there's one that's a nighttime glade, there's one that's just a big hill, you know, and you try to run off into the hills, you try to Kate Bush running up that hill, and you fucking bounce off an invisible barrier because the game goes, no, this is on the PS1, you can't go there yet. Nuh-uh. We don't have enough polygons for that shit. But they're, like, really good tutorial levels. I feel like I enjoy the kind of weird quirks of the Gnorc enemies in them.
Yeah.
The animal enemies are kind of fun, be they goats, dogs, or bulls. I like the thing you can do with the bulls where if you charge into them, their horns get stuck in the ground. And they drop the gem for killing them, but you don't have to do anything with them. They're just stuck there. You can finish them off if you want, but there's no reason to. Which I think is fun. The boss of this world, though, is...
Dr. Swim.
Well, close. Not
Snooky.
quite. Snooky?
Snooky.
Is that what you said?
Is it Dr. Crop?
It's not a doctor.
Professor Crops. Sizel.
Well, that's a Pokemon.
It's a scarecrow, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's called Toasty.
That doesn't make any goddamn sense.
Well, that's what happens to Toasty. Poor old Toasty by the end of it.
Dude, imagine if you were named after your method of death. Like you were called, like, Heart Attack.
Yeah, and that's how you're destined to die.
Yeah.
There's the opening boss with Toasty.
I mean, the bosses in this game are very confusing because the first level in each world you could do is the boss.
Yeah.
And you don't have to beat any of the bosses to beat the game.
No. I mean, Toasty is actually locked behind getting a certain number of dragons to even fight him.
Oh.
And he's the only boss in the game that's like that. Like it's...
Well, you've got to be ready for Toasty.
That's true, that's true.
Toasty's crazy.
I mean, Toasty himself isn't crazy, but the level... I think the thing about the bosses is that sometimes the level around them is the actual hard part. And the thing with...
what's up with Toasty's enemies?
So Toasty is surrounded by a bunch of shepherds and their sheepdogs.
I'm going to destroy you.
What?
Do you know how you beat the shepherds and their sheepdogs?
How?
You use the fucking roll.
Oh.
Because the sheep, they come at you from the sky, and it's really hard to dodge them, unless you fucking roll out of the way, brother. And then you're in a perfect position to get that last strike in.
And how many times did you get hit until you figured that out?
A lot. But after I figured out the roll, I was untouchable. They could not dare to lay a finger upon me.
The idea of the sheepdogs is that they're one of the few enemies in the game that you do have to attack twice in order to defeat them. You flame them once and they get charcoaled, and then you have to flame them again in order to finish them off.
Roll.
Or you can flame them once, they jump up, you jump and you flame them while they're in the air and they die.
Shit. But the roll does work great.
The roll does work. Apparently, that's a niche use of the roll.
That was the method I used to defeat them.
They will never create another Spyro enemy that requires the roll to be beaten with.
It breaks my heart, man. Breaks my heart.
So, Toasty is a giant skeleton. Skeleton? Toasty is a giant scarecrow, the other spooky thing.
He fat rolls.
He does not fat roll. Honestly, he does nothing. I don't think he attacks
No,
you.
he's kind of a loser.
He just stands there with his big scythe. You flame him twice, his facade burns away, and it turns out he's just a sheep on stilts.
He's so funny because his entire gimmick is that he sends sheep at you, even though his entire level you've been fighting sheep.
Sheepdogs.
It's not even an escalation. Oh, sheepdogs.
Yeah.
It's not like anything changes. You're just still fighting sheepdogs.
Yeah.
And he's like, what have I said? The second sheepdog. And it's like, I think I know what to do about this one.
All right, 3 sheepdogs. I think I've got it.
And then he watches in horror as I roll out of the way.
Admittedly, I think that Toasty is one of the more inspired ones because the idea of a sheep being a mastermind behind sheepdogs is very funny.
I knew you were behind all this.
Meh.
Sheep ending.
Oh, we've actually got that sheep. We got Toasty with us today.
Yeah, you can't see it, of course.
Yeah,
so.
but I'll get a picture of Toasty. I've got her right here.
Her?
Yeah, sheep are girls.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
I'm pretty sure it's like cows. Cows.
What are male sheep called?
I think they're rams.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Maybe I'm wrong. Could be wrong. The second world is the Peacekeepers.
It's a real odd escalation from like beautiful green meadows to war has come. You're in the desert now, baby.
You're in the desert, and the
You're in
Norks...
fucking Planet X from Time Splitters 2.
Yeah, and the Norks have developed Napoleonic attire.
They've developed quite quickly.
Yeah, they're like shooting cannons at each other because that's all they know. They have these little tents that they go and hide in. They flash their bums at you.
Sickening.
I know.
War used to be the pursuit of gentlemen.
Well, they've understood psychological warfare just as well as physical warfare. But the Peacekeepers world is just kind of a weird hodgepodge of just like, we don't really know what to do with it. Because
So it's a Spyro world.
A Spyro 1 world, yeah.
Yeah.
It's 2 desert worlds and 1 ice world inexplicably thrown in there.
Only 3 levels?
Yeah, there's 3 levels, there's 1 boss, and then 1 flight
zone.
level.
I guess you're right.
That's every world except for the final one.
Damn.
Admittedly, the dragons look slightly different. They're more buff, I guess.
They do have more of a gung-ho attitude.
Yeah.
I think they kind of emphasize those differences more in the remake.
I've got to be honest, while there are some charming things about Peacekeepers, it's not one of my favourite worlds at
I do
all.
love Alpine Ridge.
Alpine Ridge, well, that's in Magic Crafters,
Shit.
which is the 3rd world.
Damn. That's like one of the only ones I can remember.
Yeah, well...
That and Cliff Town, or whatever it's called. Dark Passage.
Well, Clifftown has the pot women in it.
Yo.
There's just these women that have big...
Finally women.
They have, like, beaks, they look like, with their polygonal, pointy faces, and they just have these...
We all know what that's like, isn't there, we fellas?
Well, they usually have a guy standing next to them. It's usually either, like, a dude with a metal poncho, or it's a guy with a witch doctor mask.
Yeah.
Or they just push that person ahead, so they run at you, and you deal with them immediately, and the pot lady just stands there and slaps you occasionally. It doesn't do any damage.
Does it not?
No, it doesn't. She pushes you away, so she can knock you off places if you're not careful. But
okay, yeah,
but she's like 9 feet tall.
Oh, the only woman in the game and she can't do damage.
Whoa. That's not even true. There's fairies in this game.
Yeah, but they're androgynous.
No, they're not.
They all have gender neutral names like Zoe.
With Zoe.
Claire.
Then there is, at the boss of the Peacekeepers, there is Dr. Shemp.
Love Dr. Shemp.
Yeah, Shemp is like a weird in-joke among Insomniac. For some reason, there's like a line of code in the game that just says, and I'll always get the Shemp. And for some reason, that's just like a whole thing with them.
They love that.
So they call this guy Dr. Shemp. He's a big witch doctor. Dr. Shemp's entire gimmick is just trying to get behind him in order to like flame him 3 times and kill him. It honestly...
To know what really helps out here.
I don't agree with that, honestly. Because
No,
I
it
feel
doesn't
like,
at all.
no, it doesn't, because he will just do an attack where he spins around and that's when you get him. But the boss is...
He has 3 deadly phases, doesn't he, Connor? The first time he'll do a spin and you flame him. The second time he'll do a more complicated spin and then you flame him. The third time he does a slightly more complicated spin and then you flame him.
Yeah, we were a little harsh on like the Crash 1 bosses because they're not particularly good themselves, but I actually think they're better than Spyro 1's bosses.
Yeah, Spyro 1 bosses.
That are just complete nothing encounters of just hit a guy, he runs away, you platform to the next platform, you hit him again.
Yeah, the battle is over.
Yeah, that pretty much happens all the goddamn time.
Who's the guy who's just a tornado?
That's Blowhard.
I didn't even realise I'd beat him. Like, he died and I was like, okay, where's he gone to? Oh, it's over, I went.
Blowhard has to have best name.
Blowhard.
Yeah.
I don't know, Dr. Sleep's pretty good.
Dr. Sleep.
Yeah. Stephen King's Dr. Sleep. My favourite boss.
I don't really see the connection really between Shemp and like the Peacekeepers world, but it's just like whatever, I guess.
I think at this point we can conclude they were just throwing a bunch of elements together to make worlds, right?
Spyro worlds are not quite yet at the point where they're a bunch of creative ideas that create a cohesive, fun, self-contained place.
Yeah.
They just are kind of like, whatever, what if this swamp had robots in it, you know? Which is the usual platforming affair, and that's fun in its own right, but...
What if trees had tops?
What if trees did have tops?
What if this passage was dark?
What if these towers were haunted?
Yo.
What?
Edgar Allan Poe be like...
What if this village was a terrace? Quote the Raven. Thank you for releasing me.
Oh, hi, Spyro. I see you're dealing with the grief of losing your wife. His neck.
Hi, Spyro. I'm trying to find my wife, Mary. She died 3 years ago.
She died 3 years ago? I can't do Spyro's voice.
What if you found James in a crystal, and then you go later in the level and you find Angela and she goes, "Oh, it's you."
Oh, hi, Spyro.
Press the X button to jump.
Guess you get Angela out of the crystal and she's like, "Would you take care of me?" Spyro's like, "Oh,
No thanks, gotta run." Oh no, this is Spyro 1 Spyro, so it's more like, "Yeah, no thanks, gotta run." Oh, I got you good.
It's a bad voice."
This is Spyro 1 Spyro is I don't like him.
I don't trust him.
And this is something that gets reflected on by many people's opinions because they ended up recasting him in Spyro 2.
When you were a young man in your prime,
Yeah.
and you would purchase Spyro 1 on eBay, did you know beforehand that his voice was different in Spyro 1?
I did, yeah.
Oh, okay. I was hoping you would load it up and be like, "Oh my god."
I was like, was it always like this?
Oh,
No, he pivots quite fast because apparently people said that Spyro seemed very entitled in the original, like in the original games.
Yeah, he's not humble.
I mean, you get to the Beastmaker's world especially, and he's so dismissive of everything in the Beastmakers. He's like Voodoo Vince. He's just like, "Oh god, I'm here, am I?" Which maybe that's just swamps in general. Maybe that just does that to you.
I wouldn't be happy in a swamp.
No, be constantly getting bitten by mosquitoes.
Get me in the Norfolk Masters, I'm just like, oh, fuck's sake.
So let's move on to the Magic Crafters world,
You think
which
that's
is
smart?
yeah. Oh
I
yeah.
think we should go on to that. I hate Magic Keepers.
You do?
I don't like the layout of it. I don't like the vibe. I hate all the dragons. I hate Spyro. I don't like you.
Well, this has come for quite a shocker because Magic Crafters is my favorite homeworld in the game.
You gotta fucking go down now. Let me tell you a little thing about Spyro 3.
You were trying to think of a good level in this game, and you were just like, "Ah, shit, let's talk about Sunny Villa again."
Yo, the Roman Senate, let's go.
Of course, you'd love the Senate.
I am the Senate.
Um,
Do you think those little bears from the Roman level would be able to resist the Empire?
Well, they don't seem like they would stab each other in the back constantly, so they've got that up from ancient Rome.
So here we are in Magic Crafters, Magic Keepers.
Magic Crafters, yeah.
Magic Crafters.
Magic Crafters. I don't know. So I feel like it's not necessarily that I think that all of the levels connected to Magic Crafters are all really good, but I just generally like the vibe of it. I mean, rather than fighting Norks, you're mostly just fighting wizards.
Yeah.
And I kind of love that.
You love a good wizard.
I love wizards, and they have little guys that have black voids for a face and little, like,
They have little
bright
Vivis.
lights. Yeah, they're like Vivi,
Yeah.
who is peak character design, and I will fight everyone on that.
I'm wearing a VV shirt right now.
The worst thing that ever happened to Deltarune was that Rousey took his fucking hat off and he was no longer a
I've
Vivi.
been hearing about this for 8 years now.
I can't get over it! And in Chapter 4, they've lost the hat! It broke my heart, Ash!
Chapter 5 is just going to be straight up naked. Losing clothes every chapter.
Yeah, Deltarune goes into a really weird angle about nudist colony. It's like...
yeah, I forgot. You must have been furious when they said they lost the hat.
I have a...
Sitting there at your computer with your like James seeing the video.
I have a video I need to show you of my live reaction to it. I need to fucking give that to you. You can't do this to me!
Never mind, this game is actually still good.
But yeah, I think I generally love the vibe of this homeworld particularly. I also like Wizard Peak.
Name another level from Magic Keepers.
High Caves and Alpine Ridge.
Alpine Ridge. Yeah,
Alpine Ridge.
Now we're cooking.
Yeah. I don't have a lot to say about those levels in particular, other than that I do kind of like that High Caves feels a little bit sort of... It feels quite fun to explore because it's... Although it is a linear level, it doesn't feel like a linear level.
Is High Caves the one with the chargy pads you have to use to get around?
Yeah, and it's kind of funny because they have this massive segment where it's so clear that, you know, you're going to try and supercharge and fall into the infinite abyss. So they just have fairies flying around that pick you up and put you back to the top.
But they pick you up no matter where you fall, and they just take you to a different part of the level, and you're like, oh, okay, well, guess I'm here now.
I forgot the fucking, there's also those fucking bugs.
Those fucking
the scary bugs that are
yeah.
fucking invincible unless you supercharge them.
Yeah, it's kind of fucked up, honestly.
Yeah.
You get a skill point for supercharging all of them.
Like, I feel like most of the enemies in this game are actually kind of cutesy. Like, I like the way that the Norks look and stuff. But, like those bugs are scary.
Yeah.
They're not the only enemy I get kind of freaked out about when I play this game.
Because isn't it also, like, kind of the challenge is that there's, like, enemies, there's, like, wizards in the bug caves you have to kill before the bug gets to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's kind of got, like, a bit of a stalker vibe to it.
Yeah. I mean, I think the game's trying to tell you to go around that cave, but you can go in there and get treasure if you want.
Yeah, that's what I was doing.
It's fucking freaky if you do.
Yeah.
But the boss of Magic Crafters is, of course, Blowhard.
Of course.
He certainly blows, and he's not very hard. Honestly, because of the basic polygons of the PlayStation 1, I used to think that he was just a big snake. But apparently he's just a wizard's head with a really long beard.
Here the list goes on. We work hard, we blow hard.
We've blown this episode, apparently. Fucking blown the top off of it. What, Vichy France? Another Silent Hill reference.
Philippe Leparton.
Oh my god, we love doing that.
Yeah, dude.
But after this is a little bit more of a low point for me, which is the Beastmakers, which is...
The nadir that is Beastmakers.
Yeah. It's mostly just a swamp-themed world, which has electric-based enemies. I'll give it this, is that all three of the levels do feel like at least a bit distinct from one another.
Treetops.
So I'm glad you remember Treetops, though, because that one is kind of hard to forget when you go through there.
Yeah.
Treetops is a level based almost entirely around the big supercharge ramps that you kind of have to go down in order to develop this, like, incredibly fast charge that will break really tough stuff and really hard enemies.
Yeah, and give you the lift to go over great distances. Because the level is a bunch of disconnected tree trunks with platforms built around them that you have to fly between to progress through the level.
And it is unique. It definitely sticks with you.
Yeah.
I think there's quite a few people that like Treetops, but it is very finicky to try and get to that last dragon and do the complicated sequence of, like, different jumps you got to go from one treetop to another.
I think also the
going back on yourself.
The draw distance on the PS1 version makes Treetops kind of a nightmare to navigate.
Yeah.
Because it's very difficult to kind of get a sense of how the level's laid out just by looking across this murky, pixelated mess.
I agree. And all the enemies are like monkeys. They're always throwing bananas at you.
It's like a weird, like, mini cutscene at the start where it shows you an egg thief.
Yeah.
Who's, like, not relevant.
It's not that important to the actual level, no.
It's just a weird, like, no other level starts with that kind of focus on a certain element.
It just seems like they were proud of Treetops for whatever reason.
Check this out.
I will say that having replayed today, actually, just to get a little bit more sort of insight into the game. Yeah, I played a bit more today.
I beat the entire game 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And then we messed up the recording for the episode. And now it's been 2 weeks, which has included Christmas and New Year, so I've completely forgotten the entire game.
But like Misty Bog's kind of grown on me. It has these really freaky plant enemies that like stand in the background and kind of rumble, and they like charge at you all of a sudden, and it's like, fucking god. And it also does the thing I like when they have multiple enemies in a row that you can just like charge into.
Yeah,
and I love that. I think that's great. Terrace Village, yeah, whatever. There's like electric guys. I don't really care.
I hate those electric guys.
Yeah.
Because their electricity persists for a few seconds even after you kill them.
Yeah,
they make the timing very difficult.
They make a big web of electricity on a big like stone panel you need to be on to progress. So you just play a long waiting game of just like, this guy's electrocuting the floor. Now I charge at him and kill him. Now I wait for the next guy. It's a little similar with the boss Metalhead, which is just this big robot. Where you don't fight him directly, you just break a bunch of, like, nodes around him.
I want to have a TV interview with Metalhead.
Yeah?
I want to know what his plan was. It's so confusing to me.
Step 1, I stand here. Step 2, Spyro electrocutes himself, I guess. Because I think he does shoot, like, lasers out of his eyes. But when you're gunning around trying to break the pylons, you just don't think about it.
No, it just happens so quickly.
Yeah. And then the last world, penultimate world actually, is the Dreamweavers, which is where the game goes a lot more zany. Because Beastmakers is very murky, it's mostly dark greens and like browns.
I'm just going to say it, they ain't making that many beasts down there.
They're not really, no. Yeah. It's mostly just pigs. You just
the worst beast of all.
Mostly just fight pigs. But the Dreamweavers is where the game's aesthetic goes a lot more zany. They are going for that dreamlike aesthetic with it, where... Everything's full of pastel pinks and yellows and blues and everything. The enemies are like jesters and monsters and nightmares and haunted armor and ghosts and all of this shit.
It kind of reminds me of Klonoa.
Yeah, actually, that's a good point. Yeah. I mean, that is a game about dreams.
We're weaving dreams out there.
They do be. They're taking that door to Phantom Isle.
Volleyball.
I mean, I like in the hub world. There's that fucking cannon that's shrinking and growing the different enemies.
Goofy effects at people.
Yeah,
and I love the guy who's shooting them because you would think that he was doing that to have an advantage over Spyro because he makes all the enemies bigger.
Yeah,
but he keeps shooting them back to being small again.
Yeah, he does.
He's just doing it for the love of the game.
It's only fair.
Yeah,
it's only fair.
He just likes shooting things with cannons.
Yeah. But the levels here, like, they are quite cool. There's haunted towers, which has these haunted suits of armor, where in order to break them, you have to get a fairy's kiss, and that gives you, like, a special flame to break them. But, yeah,
Dark Passage.
There's Dark Passage, not to be confused with Dark Hollow, which is the quaint little green place that's in the Artisans World. Nah, this one has nightmare monsters that, like, grow in the darkness and become harmless in the light. These jesters have just got lights, basically.
Yeah.
So if you attack them, you can't kill them, but if you attack them, they light up this sort of area.
It makes them seem more like elements of nature.
Yeah.
The little things that just exist.
I like that as an element of whimsy to the Dreamweaver's world. It's the most, like, fuck it, we're doing whatever. And I really like the Dreamweaver's world for that. I think it's my second favourite in the game.
Oh, yeah? Rank them right now.
Oh, yeah. So top to bottom would be Magic Crafters, Dreamweavers, Artisans, Gnasty's World, Peacekeepers, and Beastmakers.
Alright.
Yeah.
Alright.
That's where I'd go with
That's acceptable. I'd put all of them in different orders, but...
All of them? What's your order?
Artisans, Dreamweavers, fucking whatever. I don't fucking know.
Ash is very much a Spyro 3 girl.
I'm a details-orientated person.
Yeah. You love the deep lore of Spyro 3.
But listen, I'm not trying to, blow my own horn or anything, but I beat Spyro 3 in like 3 hours. Spyro 1 in like 3 hours. And I got every dragon, and it was such a slight experience that getting me to remember any of it, I'm just like, dude, it just happened so quickly.
Well, then I'll just skip past Lofty's Castle. We haven't got nothing else to say about that.
Lofty's Castle?
Lofty's Castle is the third world.
I like that one.
Oh, yeah?
It's got a lot of gliding, a lot of verticality.
Yeah, there's a lot more floating island platforming in that.
You've got enemies who do that thing where they lift up platforms or bar your way, and you've got to time your jump to the effects of their spells.
Yeah.
Which I quite like.
You start that level out trying to free fairies from, like, little cages.
Yeah, little cages,
And you've got Norks hanging onto balloons that you just pop.
I hate those guys. What are they thinking? They're idiots.
They were born yesterday, Ash.
Well, that didn't stop the ones in Peacekeepers from inventing Regency warfare.
like pike and shot tactics. And
there was a funny moment though where I was playing Spyro at 2 a.m. when my housemate came home because they work a night shift, and I was playing this level and I was like, look at these stupid balloon guys, they're idiots. Like, I don't even know if they attack you. And then immediately one of them just bopped me on the head and I was like, what? No! How could you? She shook her head. She was like, I thought you were better than that.
Your housemate is like a second mum to you.
Yeah.
Just always judging you for your actions.
Yeah. My mum's always calling me up. You beat those balloon guys yet? No, Mum, no. I'm sorry.
But then there is the boss, Jacques. He is
Jacques.
He is a Jack in the Box. You hit him 3 times and he dies.
Wow.
There you go. And then the last world is Gnasty's World.
Well, I do want to just comment briefly on the requirement to reach Gnasty's World, which I believe is the acquisition of 6,000 or 5,000 worth of gems.
Yeah.
Which was really annoying.
Oh, because you wanted to go through the game really quickly.
I mean, I felt like I had been trying to get as many gems as I could. Like, I wasn't rushing through it. I was like, I'm gonna do this and get the most out of it that I can. But then I had to, like, spend 40 minutes going back and getting more gems because I was, like, 12,000 short or something like that. And I was just like, what an annoying...
There's 14,000 in the game.
Oh, all right, 1,200. Leave me alone.
Yeah.
I got a D in maths, okay? Don't come at me for this. But it was like a real, like, pace killer because I had to go back to a bunch of old levels and just pick up gems for a while.
The thing is that what's quite different to this Spyro game compared to the ones later is that this is one where you can 100% the game in one go.
Yeah.
If you're attentive enough to scour the levels for every gem and the like, you are able to beat the entire game without needing to go back to a single level once. But in most people's playthroughs, they won't necessarily do that. And I think that is where it begins to kind of hit those hurdles, is that by the time you get to Magic Crafters and it asks you for dragon eggs, that's kind of when you start going, shit, I have to backtrack.
Yeah, like the gates for progress just feel arbitrary. Because it's just like, it's like a random element from the game's collectibles every transition. And it's like, I have to go get like 5 dragon eggs. I have to remember where those guys were, just do this random grinding, for lack of a better word, for a while.
Well, maybe if they'd staggered it out a little better and it had been like, okay, so you need to get 10 dragons for the first world, then you got to get 16, then you got to get 22, then you got to get like that kind of thing would have been.
Well, because like I like how in, obviously we'll talk about this later, but when in like Spyro 3, and I'm sure in Spyro 2 as well, in the levels there are characters who you help out, and then by doing that they then go help you get to the next world. I think it's like one of the reasons why this game is like the worst Spyro for me, not to get too ahead in the rankings or anything.
Okay.
The levels have no narrative in them.
Yeah.
They're just levels, whereas the other Spyro games have little guys who you talk to.
But Gnasty's world, thematically, according to the manual, is the dragon's scrapyard. It's their trash. It's where it all goes. It's where you just kind of go through 2 extra levels collecting dragons you've already freed.
Yeah.
Where they
and
go...
they got like squid kids in those levels.
Yeah, well...
Guys with big ink cannons.
Oh,
I hate those guys.
Well...
You know what was not good against those guys?
What?
The roll.
No.
They just kept shooting.
Well, you're talking about them being squid kids because they shoot paint in the remake, but in the original, they got fucking machine guns.
Damn.
Yeah.
Oh man, they censored Spyro?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah, they did, to try and keep the age rating. Those 2 levels I honestly don't have a massive amount to say on.
I kind of like them. They remind me of the end of Crash 1.
Yeah.
When you're in the weird lab levels. Remember that weird level in Crash 1 where that guy's throwing barrels at you?
Yeah, that's a Spyro level. And then there's the other with the machine gun, which is like Pinstripe Portaroo and his little guys.
I thought that was okay.
Yeah. I mean, they're good levels. They're fine. I just don't necessarily have a lot to elaborate on them because they are more platforming and collecting gems and such.
And we got to really rush to get to the climax of the game, which is breathtaking.
Oh, Gnasty Nork himself.
Gnasty Nork, yeah.
Who stands up on his podium taunting you. You chase after 2 egg thieves that have keys to his little podium.
Oh,
Connor,
it's just like Toasty, because all the Gnasty Nork fight is an egg thief.
Yeah.
So he sends 2 egg thieves after you, you defeat them, and then he's also an egg thief.
Yeah, he runs away from you. You go through a bunch of platforming challenges, admittedly quite tense because, you know, they're time sensitive. The platforms are like shrinking away, so you got to get to him as fast as possible. And that's kind of cool. But then you just get to him at the end of that post. You flame him once, he dies, and then he plays the ending cutscene, and the game's over.
He doesn't have a single line of dialogue in the game, does he?
No, he doesn't, other than in that
anything.
opening.
Does he say something in the opening?
Yeah, because the dragon.
He goes, how could they?
No, the dragon at the beginning is going like, Gnasty Nork is a simple creature, and he goes, simple? And he's also ill-tempered, and he's also ugly. Ugly? That does it! And then he zaps them.
No, I was hoping he didn't say that does it, because then we could make the argument saliently that he's a parrot.
He can't talk. He just says what everyone else says. Yeah. But that's the thing. Gnasty Nork is the biggest bitch-ass motherfucker in history because he just goes down in one go.
There's like no cutscene or like him doing anything. You just get to the level, he stands there, you flame him, and he's gone.
He's like 12 feet tall and he's clad in golden armor and has a big hammer, and it's just like the sheepdogs are harder than you. Fucking Dr. Shemp took 3 hits. Come on.
I do like the little bits of lore out there for the lore fiends that he has employed the services of the egg thieves.
Yeah. They protect his keys for it.
They do mercenary work, apparently.
Do you think that they run away from anyone, so he goes to get his keys and they still run away, and he's like, hey!
Yeah, they're doing that.
That's basically every level in Spyro 1 except for the final level, Gnasty's Loot, which is just kind of a victory lap. You just have this platforming level where Spyro can fly properly in them, but he's limited to a certain level of verticality until you collect enough gems and then he can go higher. Gnasty's Loot, I think, is like perfectly fine. It's a very boring looking level as well. Like it's
Never seen it, man.
No.
Never got 100% gems.
No, exactly.
I haven't got what it takes.
Gnasty's Loot turns that 100% into 120%, basically, just by doing that level.
Take that, God.
Take that, God.
Oh, you can only have 100%. Well, Spyro says otherwise.
Bam.
Yeah, what do you think?
Boom.
I think that the egg thieves in each game should have been carrying the collectible from one of the other games. Because in this game, they're taking dragon eggs, which is what you have to get in Spyro 3. In Spyro 2, it should have been dragons, and in Spyro 3, it should have been talismans.
I kind of like that, actually. Because it would make them kind of different. You know, egg thieves in Spyro 3, like, you just collect eggs in that game. Like, they're just more
Could you
eggs.
imagine Spyro 2 egg thieves that are carrying massive dragon statues?
That'd be cool as hell.
Yeah.
I'd like that.
And then you get them and they go, Spyro, remember, you have to jump to jump.
I don't think there actually are egg thieves in Spyro 2.
And that's why it's the last one.
There are thieves that act exactly like them, but they're like...
There are criminals of other types.
But they're in one level.
There are enemies committing larceny.
I mean, Spyro's committing larceny in Spyro 2. He's just fucking taking everything off the goddamn floor. Yeah. At least in Spyro...
He gives it back.
What, in Spyro... At the end of the game...
Spyro 2 would have been better if it was about how Spyro refused to give all the treasure back. So the dragons were trying to take it back from him and he was like, no!
Yeah, it's like, you saved us from Ripto. Saved! So I only think there's really 3 other things to kind of say on the itinerary, to be honest. I think one of them is to talk about one of the most iconic parts of Spyro that we've somehow not mentioned once, which is the music.
Yeah. Which is listed on the sheet as all cops are bad.
Oh, because it's about the police. So Spyro soundtrack was composed by the drummer of a rock band called The Police.
Connor informs me, contrary to my expectations, that the police created songs.
Yeah, they made Roxanne. They sing it in Community.
Sure.
Well, this is kind of what makes it so surprising, because Stuart Copeland, who's the drummer for The Police, is obviously a percussionist, so percussion's a pretty big part of his musical pieces. But I don't think any soundtrack in a game before Spyro really sounds like Spyro soundtrack.
I mean, do you have any particular insight into why they got Stuart Copeland to do the music for this game?
Not necessarily. I think they hired him on for his music talent, but it's kind of fascinating to consider that he was quite keen to play through the levels in order to get a feel for them before he made his pieces.
Didn't they make, like, cheats for him?
Yeah, they did, because he wasn't very good at the game. But he liked the way that the songs would line up to events in the game and that sort of thing. Like he seemed really passionate about the project.
I mean, he did all 3, right?
Yeah, he did all 3. He even did Enter the Dragonfly afterwards. Yeah.
He scored all 5 levels?
Yeah, clearly it was a short gig. But ultimately, it's very strange. How do I describe Spyro 1's soundtrack? It's like...
Well, I could do it.
Yeah, give me a rendition of your favorite song from Spyro.
I can't do this bit because it's so unfunny. I used to annoy Connor by implying that every Spyro track is like the same, just like just like little like fun incidental background noises.
Well, the thing is that for Spyro 1, I would kind of agree.
Yeah, I don't think I could replicate a track for you in this game.
No, this is the thing with Spyro 1's soundtrack fully, is that I think as an overall soundtrack, it's very unique to loads of other games. It's got these fun strings and bits of riffs of electric guitars and the percussion.
Yeah.
But individually levels, like one after the other, they all kind of blend together after a while.
Yeah.
And there's not many that pop out to me as immediately like, oh yeah, I remember this.
Yeah.
Like, if I had grown up with this game, if I'd obsessively listened to the soundtrack, probably I would have a better idea of like, oh, this is the vibe of the Peacekeepers, this is the vibe of the Beastmakers, and whatever. But the only ones that really pop out to me are the title theme, because I think it's the best title theme out of any of the Spyro games. Like,
really?
I think he kind of nails it first try.
I'm gonna have to listen to them all now.
I think Peacekeepers, because it has the little marching drums and percussion in the background.
Yeah.
And it's like clearly like MIDI sort of stuff, but it's not Sniper 2 stank MIDI. It's like actually thought out. I've sampled some good sounds here, MIDI.
I mean, say what you will about the Sniper 2. I remember more of those tracks than I remember the Spyro songs.
And the other one I remember is Lofty's Castle, because I used to put on the Spyro soundtrack on YouTube in the past and like just go through this playlist. And I remember the comments on these videos, like, you'd get to Lofty's Castle and people would be like, this is the one. This is the track of Spyro 1. And I'd listen to it, and the first half of Lofty's Castle, it honestly sounds like Stuart Copeland is just hitting random piano notes over the other instruments he's got playing.
Well, you know that we can no longer ascribe meaning to YouTube comments on niche game soundtracks. Ever since we found that one Clock Tower 3 comment that was like, the battle theme in Clock Tower 3 is the best battle theme of all time. It's like, is this the first game you've ever played? Like,
statistically speaking,
it's
Clock Tower
someone's
3.
favourite battle theme.
Yeah. The thing is that Lofty's Castle, like, once it gets to the end of the song, it does kind of come together in a way where it's like, it works. It weirdly does sound good, but, like, initially, it sounds like what I was doing when we were playing Tulip, when I just started hitting the fucking keyboard.
Do you think Stuart Copeland also composed the soundtrack on a cat keyboard?
Oh, I would love it if he did.
Yeah,
that would have been so good. I bet he had so much cutting-edge stuff in his little booth. The only other things I wanted to really elaborate on with Spyro before we kind of wrap up is to kind of mention about the Japanese version.
Oh, now we're in my world.
Yeah, so Crash Bandicoot had a quite extensive Japanese localization that resulted in, like, levels being swapped around and, like, character art
like
being
elements
changed.
being shrunk and sized up and tutorials being added and all kinds of wacky changes.
Yeah. And those things really helped sort of bring that game into the Japanese market and make it a success over there.
With also some great ads.
Yeah, with some really great adverts. Honestly, I love both the Western and Japanese Crash adverts. They're both so good in their own ways. And they both involve a guy in a costume, which is great. But Spyro kind of downgraded itself in a really weird way. For starters, rather than the camera being directly behind you, like it would be in regular Spyro, the camera is up in the air in a bird's eye view, and it kind of swivels around to follow Spyro in whatever big environment he's in. Spyro is also made to be a bit slower, and his charge doesn't speed him up.
It's not the remake then.
Yeah, and Ba-da-bum. No, it's so much worse in the Japanese version. And, like, there's also
Do
tutorial...
you think they did that again in the Japanese version of the remake?
You know what? Maybe,
Or
I
do
don't
you
know.
think there are some Japanese people out there who bought Spyro Reignited and were like, what the fuck is this?
This isn't the way this is supposed to play. Why does this play like Ratchet and Clank?
This is stupid.
They also added the tutorial prompts and everything. It's just a really weird version.
Yeah.
And although they did localize Spyro every time for the Japanese market, it didn't do anywhere near as well. Like, it was just a
Doing
complete...
Sonic numbers.
Yeah, I wouldn't be too shocked. Then, there is the matter of the Spyro Reignited Trilogy, the remake.
That's right, baby. We couldn't fit in the Silent Hill 2 remake, but we're here to talk about how they made it look prettier.
So look, the way that we played these games together for the list...
Yeah,
is
the inverse of Crash.
Yeah. While I had Ash play the original versions of Crash Bandicoot on the PS1, I figured that I would have her play the Reignited trilogy of Spyro. One, because I just kind of wanted to see the contrast. And two, because I legitimately believe that, by comparison of the N.C. trilogy, I actually think that Spyro Reignited is a much better remaster than Insane Trilogy.
Yeah, I think the issues you could have with the Reignited trilogy are inherently subjective, as opposed to Crash, where it's like, no, they did fuck up the platforming, so...
Yeah, exactly. If anything, I think that the liberties taken to a lot of Spyro 1 specifically, because my opinions on Spyro 2 and 3 in the Reignited trilogy is a little different.
Yeah.
Spyro 1 just has a lot of upgrades. They just take a lot of areas that are blank or not super well defined, and they go, let's give this a little more.
Yeah.
Which is kind of true for Insane as well. Crash 1 gets the biggest glow up in Insane. But here, I think it really helps. For starters, dragons being your main collectible, right? They're just kind of coloured dragons with a few different polygons that say the same kind of basic lines.
Yeah.
And they're clearly recorded by a guy who needs to catch a bus in 5 minutes, so he has to rush off and finish it quick. But here, they very carefully design every dragon around the homeworld that they're in. They give them all unique designs. They all have unique voices. Considering as well that most of the themes of Spyro 1's worlds are very baseline and like kind of...
I'm not gonna say the themes of the story. I was so excited for it.
No, I'm just talking about Grass World
yeah.
being a little prettier. It's just the little accoutrements, like, you know, the Artisans World, you got little bookshelves in the Dark Hollow, and it's like, oh, the town square's got little things. The swamp, the fucking Beastmaker swamps.
Blow up is incredible.
Yeah, it's really good.
There's all like these like massive lines of trees in the background. It feels like an actual space now rather than a weird void.
Yeah. Dreamweaver still pops out, Magic Crafter still pops out. The wizard designs are fucking perfect. They're so good. Which contrasts the Norks. I think the Norks are actually the biggest downgrade, really.
Damn.
Because the Norks in the original Spyro art style are very cutesy. they kind of match all the other creatures in the game.
Yeah.
But in the remake, they just go, oh, well, they're like orcs, right? So they're ugly creatures, and they're going to have big teeth and tiny little yellow eyes and everything, and no noses.
Yeah.
Like, the fucking pot women look weird now.
They fucked up the pot women?
The guys with the metal ponchos that they throw at you look dumb. It's like, they almost look like stereotypes, actually. They kind of go a little too hard into the thematics there, but...
I have an irrational hatred of all the dragons in Spyro 1. I can't explain it to you. I feel like whenever they happen, I'm playing a fan game of a young adult's fiction novel.
What?
It's about a dragon camp, a dragon high school. Every time they talk, I'm just like, I hate everything about you. I hate the weird, exaggerated movements they make. I hate how they're always like, Spyro, remember to supercharge. Like, shut up. Ask me how I'm doing.
Oh my god.
Please do not take anything I say as being like actual criticisms of Spyro. I just don't like them for some reason. They just annoy me. Every time I free them, I'm like, oh, here we fucking go.
I mean, it just feels like everything you hate about those designs and everything are what I really like about them.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't explain it. I don't understand it.
No, that's just a matter
something about them rubs me the wrong way.
It's a matter of taste.
Yeah.
I don't like Fallen Neck Woman from Fatal Frame.
Fuck.
Maybe I'll love them in the remake. I don't know.
She tripped over. Because she was running from other ghosts.
I think that Fatal Frame would be a lot better if you had to collect 100 dragons.
Dude, honestly, that would be great.
And they said, Mio, remember to charge up your camera attack.
And then you could hold their hand.
Thank you for taking me along with you. Oh wait, no, what are you doing? Just Mio overpowering this fucking 9-foot-tall dragon.
Little noodle arms.
I don't know. I feel like I could spend a while gushing about the dragon designs. I won't. I'll save everyone the fucking time.
Especially with me sitting here being like, no, I hate them. Why? I don't know.
Yeah. Wasn't there that one dragon you really hated in Magic Crafters?
Yeah, he's a fucking jerk. He's like, Spyro's like, I did it, I saved you, help me out. And he goes, remember, you can use your roll attack to do something. And it's like, shut up, man. Just fucking chip in a bit more than what you're doing right now. Like, I need you to engage with me here.
I just remember you got weirdly fixated on this one guy.
He's not sensible. He's not making
sensible.
He's not helping to guide Spyro's young mind. Okay, he's a bad influence. It's like that one guy in Treetops who's up there, really far away.
Oh yeah, Jed.
Spyro's like, "Why are you here?" And he goes, "Goodbye." Shut up.
I think he goes like, "Wow, you did really well navigating the supercharge in the treetops." And Spyro says like, "Yeah, well, you could have found a fucking better place to get lost."
They are an unserious people.
They live in an unserious world.
Dude.
They have a guy on a cannon whose job is to shrink people.
You're going to tell me you're going to be in Peacekeepers in a world of conflict and be like, this ain't serious.
Yeah, do you think everyone in the Peacekeepers are kind of tryhards? Like, do you think they take their job way too seriously?
Just thinking of Napoleon looking through his binoculars solemnly at Norks in a tent, mooning him. I mean, I would say that I like how the PS1 game looks more than the PS4 version. Not because I think the PS4 version is like a bad art style, just because I find the PS1's awkward, 3D, polygonal, bright, flat colours just more homely. I mean, you show each version to someone who's never seen them before, they'll have an obvious preference for the new one.
Yeah.
But the old one, it feels like it could stab my eyes out with how sharp everything is, and I kind of like that.
Well, I really like the original art style as well. I just think that if you are going to have a glow-up, if you're going to try and reimagine this art style into modern graphics,
that's how you would do it.
It's way better than what Insane was doing.
Yeah.
Way better than, like, Halo Combat Evolved Anniversary.
Yeah, this is another criticism where I want to add the asterisk that it's like, I don't think the new version is bad, I just have a slight preference for the old.
Yeah. I personally think that you could go with either version here and sort of, still have a really good time with it.
And honestly, the game's so short, you could just play it again.
Yeah, exactly. I think one feather in the cap of Reignited that would help new players, like over the original, is that you can click in the left stick on a controller and Sparx will immediately point towards the next gem to go to, which is a great way to find them if you're kind of if you're wandering around going like, where the fuck are all the gems?
Yeah, because there's no worse thing in a platformer where you need to get all these like gems that are untracked. Even if you looked up a guide, you have to check every single location because you don't know which ones you have and which ones you don't have. So having that built-in feature is very, very nice.
I don't know if we really need a conclusion for Spyro 1. I think it's a really good opener to that franchise. I obviously think that it really comes into its own in its sequels, but this is a great starting point.
I think for me, it's giving it the greatest backhand compliment of all time, where it's like, it's just not enough there for me to draw like a really satisfying conclusion from. It's like 3 hours of very pleasant, easy jumping around, getting gems, and to be like, yeah, but the themes were bad. Like,
Yeah.
you know, who cares? This is not that serious.
Yeah.
You just have a good time.
Just having a great time.
Like, I have no interest in like actually taking this game seriously. Maybe you could really stretch it and say that Spyro is about how the adults will never be trusted, and they're really shitty.
Oh, those shitty adults.
Shitty adults, yeah.
Spyro's going to change your heart.
It's changed my heart.
Mine too.
My heart grew 3 times this Christmas, Connor.
Ah, thanks to
Playing
Spyro.
Spyro 1, yeah.
You know what? That's the best I could hear. I'm very happy to hear that. Shall we get on to the rankings then and wrap this show up?
I don't know, I feel like we could waffle for like another 20 minutes.
We're going to bring up Vichy France again?
Yo.
Alright.
Dude, have I ever told the story on this podcast about when my brother messaged me at 2 a.m. and he just said, what was up with Fiji France? I was like, what do you mean? He's like, it was weird, wasn't it? Yeah. Yeah, it was. It was kind of fucked up.
But in terms of quality, Ash, what would you make of Spyro 1?
Gonna give it the score of all time, which is 3.5.
Yeah, solid game.
It's good. It's good.
I think I'd say the same. I don't think it massively excels. It couldn't beat Mario, but it's really good.
Yeah,
It's good at what it does. And I like that a lot about it.
Yeah. Once again, what's that game about being mad about this game?
Yeah.
It's just a good time.
I would like you less as a person if you hated Spyro 1's guts.
Because I'd be like, what, do you hate the laughter of children?
Yeah.
Like,
do you hate the jump on treetops? No, that's totally fair.
Yeah.
Do you hate the way that the dragons just kind of fuck off and do nothing? Oh yeah, sure, whatever. If you hate the game as a whole, it's just like, oh, come on.
if you don't like Spyro 1, unsubscribe.
Whoa. Our first call to unsubscribe.
Please unsubscribe from Hunter the Parenting.
Dragging down everyone around us, my word.
So you give it a 3.5 on quality?
I would, yeah.
Yeah?
In terms of interesting,
I'll give it a 3.
a 3? I
I think it's interesting because I find the way that the hyper-competitiveness of the 90s shaped the kind of games that were made. I enjoy that the story of this game is both a Sony said, we got to hit a quota of family games, make this thing, and they kind of stepped up to the bat and knocked it out of home park.
Oh, yeah.
But also how they were making this other game that was like really weird and ambitious that then became this quite simple children's game.
Yeah, I know that's kind of a footnote in the podcast, really.
Yeah.
We don't mention it much, but that is a really good point.
I mean, the quote, and then you can make the Confederates and the Union fight each other, is like the best quote of all time, because it's like, yeah, dude, I'm sure you could.
And that somehow becomes Spyro the Dragon.
Yeah.
The Peacekeepers really is just them getting that little outlet out.
But then again, at the end of the day, dude, it's fucking 5 colourful worlds. There's a point about this game that I forgot to make. You know how whenever we're talking about my survival horror games, and you're like, listen, I'm not a fucking loser. I like it in games where you do things that are fun, and you get to collect gems.
Yeah.
When I was playing Spyro 1 a few weeks ago, I legitimately thought to myself, dude, what if I had no things right now? What if I had to collect keys to open doors? I think I had the inverse moment where I was like, this isn't my genre. I wish I was running away from a big guy right now.
Oh my god.
Because, like, that's the thing. Like, platformers to me isn't a hallowed genre. So playing a good platformer, I'm just like, I mean, yeah, I guess, but
Yeah.
what if Nemesis was here?
Oh, yeah. That would make it quite interesting, actually.
What if I was a frail little girl running around? Then things would be better.
A frail maiden.
But I'm not. I'm Spyro and I can do shit.
Yeah.
This sucks.
Well, it's interesting because I feel like I was actually going to give this a lot lower on interesting, but
No, man.
you made some good points, and I think that kind of bumps it up to like 2.5 for me.
Yeah.
Because I think the most interesting things for me about this game is, as you say, it's kind of the development. It's what it was trying to fill in the market at that time. It's like the little things of the fucking rocket scientists getting brought in for the flight controls.
Yeah.
It's Stuart Copeland's quite unique soundtrack and some of the zaniness in the game. But for the most part, it's very boilerplate platformer, which is fine in its own right. I guess I'd say 2.5, I think.
Alright,
Yeah.
alright. I respect it.
Now, in terms of fun, and you can be completely honest with me. No worries.
I'll be honest with you.
I won't be judging.
I'll never lie to you.
Mm-hmm.
I would say that this game is like eating Weetabix, where you've put on sugar, but not quite enough. So it's fine.
Yeah.
I'll give it a 2.5.
Yeah, that's
It went
fair.
down smooth.
I think we had a pretty decent time playing it.
Yeah. There was no moment in this game where we got stuck and frustrated for like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
We
Like,
just kind of went through the levels and won.
this is a pretty perfect, like, 2.5
Yeah,
on
yeah.
fun, where it was like, we didn't have a bad time with it. But, again, we are on a list that had Disaster Day of Crisis and fucking Clock Tower 3 and Tulip and so many other, like, wacky games. Well, I suppose we've got to keep you fed.
I am starving.
We better give you your share.
How long has it been since we talked about a horror game?
Oh.
2 episodes? I'm freaking out,
Oh
man.
my god. Alright, I've got to break the glass in case of the emergency.
We like to do things around here in paradoxical ways. As we have discussed Resident Evil 4 and Resident Evil 2,
Yeah.
I think now it's time to go back. Back to the past.
Samurai Jack.
I wasn't going to go there, but I see you. Now, my friend, we are going to talk about one of the big ones, one of the classics. Perhaps, some would say, the most expertly designed video game of all time.
Some would say that.
Resident Evil 1, 2002.
So the remake.
The remake
Of Resident Evil 1.
Yes.
You had to wean me on 2 Leon games first.
And we're
before I
going to
got
get the
this.
people who are like, oh, you didn't play Sweet Home first? Well, okay. You get out of here with that.
I'd love to meet those people because I
The
want
Sweet Home
I
people.
want confirmation they exist so I can catalog them.
In my big book.
Yeah, submit them in my Cryptids of the Internet journal.
Well, anyway, I hope you will all enjoy the first Resident Evil game that hasn't started a season.
Yeah,
Resident
true.
Evil 1.
Yeah.
I look forward to finishing it like 7 times in preparation for that episode.
God, yeah. Thank you so much for listening, guys.
We hope you enjoyed this fever dream.
Yeah, this episode was absolutely manic. I suspect the next one won't be.
No,
But then again,
very
it-
solemn.
But then again, it is a game with Albert Wesker in it, so we'll see.
We must discuss Barry Burton.
We can't ignore Barry Burton.
He cannot be ignored.
Thank you so much for listening. Have yourselves a great time. Don't know where you are.
Yeah.
Is it the morning? Good morning.
Happy Easter?
Yeah,
Take a pun on
that. Taking a gambit on there.
Yeah.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
And if you don't have a Valentine, you can at least play Spyro 1.
For Valentine's Day this year, give your lover the gift of The List Goes On. Subscribe to our premium show.
That we release for free.
Yeah. Well, make good choices.
And take care.
Ciao.